coolest people in the world have their hands in their pocket, according to him, right? So if I want to be one of the coolest people in the world to him, my hands are going in my pocket. Because what's the exact opposite of having his hands in his pocket? Right?
Nice. What's up, BE3? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for coming back and checking out our new Tactical Tuesday. Today, Jeff goes into the techniques you need to know after shifting into neutral, how to handle certain situations, best body language to use. If you guys have not, please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you love the video, even a thumbs down if you don't. We love the feedback. Leave us a comment so we can chat. We'd love to do that with you guys as well. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks.
Fight or flight, right? Do I trust you or do you freak me out? Right, is what it is. So unfair. You are being prejudged like instantly. But all they're doing is a subconscious search to see if you recognize safety, comfort, or threat. Right. That's it. And you don't have any control over that, or do you? You do. Most people don't, because they're not consciously aware about what's going on. So you have control over it. So now what do you do at the higher level that you're at now? You go into which gear? Neutral. Neutral. Why do we go into neutral? No one's in a threat in neutral gear, right? It's safe because you have skill, because all you're going into neutral for is to become aware, right? And all you're becoming aware of is who's in front of you. Because if I just open the door and there's Joe and I'm in neutral, I can instantly assess Joe, right? And my job now is to do what? Make Joe trust me. Who trusts Joe? Who does Joe trust more than anybody in the world? Joe. Right? So the closer I am to Joe, the more he's going to trust me. It's that simple. Right? So what I'm going to do is say, okay, what can I do consciously right now to make him feel comfortable that he can trust me and I'm not a threat, right? So that's when we go into the mirror and matching as a step one and say, okay, his hands are in his pocket, okay? Coolest people in the world have their hands in their pocket, according to him, right? So if I want to be one of the coolest people in the world to him, my hands are going in my pocket. Because what's the exact opposite of having his hands in his pocket? Right? So I could say, hi, Joe, right? Just that alone is so opposite what he's doing. He's going to say, weirdo, right? First thought, and I'm not going to even have the chance to present because he's automatically in a fight mode that this guy might kill me. He's weird. I need to get away quickly, immediately out of the way, right? So that's the whole concept. And then if we're rolling through and then we're chatting, right? This is how she's the coolest people in the world sit right here. And so if we're going to have a conversation, I want to be one of the cool people too. So let me into the cool kid club, because the cool kid club people sit like this. And that's the way I'm going to be able to have a conversation, because the opposite of that is, right? And that totally freaks her out, which means there's going to be zero trust and zero connection. Okay, so that's the simple thing. What else do we consciously become aware of? Easy. What's the easy things to look at? Eye contact. Okay, have you ever? That's huge. Right. So huge. So huge, but so unknown and so ignored. Because your tribe taught you how to look, and you never had to let's say, okay, what's your name again? Bree. Bree? Yeah. Today we're going to have a talk about eye contact, and this is what we're going to do. Your parents never sat you down and had this. How did you learn eye contact? From your tribe. Your tribe, right? Your mom, your dad, your sisters, your cousins, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa. You just noticed when you had a conversation, they either looked at you or they didn't. And their tribe looked at you when they talked to you, or they were shifties. Doesn't mean that they're weird. It just means that when they talk, they don't like to commit. Right, or whatever it is to their definition. So some tribes stare, right? That's just the way that they do. When they talk, you better be looking at somebody because that means you're serious or sincere. So when I'm talking to you, you better look at me. Some people train that way, right? Conditioned like a dog, right? And some people's parents, when they talk, they just kind of, hey, and here's what I'm talking about. So you don't notice that. You just sit there and you just learn from experience, and that's your tribal upbringing taught you that that's how you do it. So now Rodney walks around the way Rodney got trained to look. He didn't even know he had that class, right? And then so he walks into Joe's house. Joe had a whole separate class on how to look at people, and you didn't even know you had that class. So when you and Rodney meet, if you happen to have the same teacher, you're going to be connected because you guys look at each other the same way. If you were in a shifty eye family and you were in a creepy starey eye family, right, you guys are not going to get along, and you're not even going to know why, because you didn't have the same lessons. This is the simple things, guys, that allow you to connect. And then it's the posture, right? Some people are more relaxed and chill it out, right? If you were a more rigid person and you're dealing with a relaxed or chilled out person, no one's right or no one's wrong. You're just not connecting, right? So if you consciously go into neutral and say, oh, I got a starey guy who stands upright. How about I respect their tribe and I stand upright and I stare a little bit more, okay? Not hard. And what if they use the word fantabulous, right? Their tribe taught them that fantabulous is a cool word. I don't know what the hell it means, right? But I don't care, because if I want to deliver trust and confidence and competence and he wants to connect, then it's a fantabulous day, right? How hard is that? Right? It's not hard at all. And then you've got people that smile, right? They were brought up in a smiley tribe. You got people that are more stoic. Doesn't matter, they just are the way they are. Some people talk with their hands. Why do they talk with their hands? Because their tribal leaders talk with their hands, and they tell stories and they just talk and they can't even control it, right? And so they don't even know that they do it. And their whole family, if you fly on the wall on Thanksgiving dinner and a talky arm family, you're going to watch mashed potatoes and shit flying all over the place. It's just normal. So, but if you were raised in the tribe that just sits there, and you're a sit, not move your hand family member invited to a move hand family Thanksgiving dinner, they're going to look at you like you're a weirdo, okay? Because most people in their tribe talk with their hands. So, if you're but there you go. That's my point. You go over, a non-Italian walks over to an Italian's family, right? You have to adapt to that tribe, or you're going to be considered an outcast. What happens to outcast members of a tribe? They get killed, right? If you go back to the root, that's the whole thing. Tribal people stick together because they trust each other and they have each other's back because they're the same, right? An outsider comes in, they get kicked out. That's just the way it is because they stand together. So that's all we're talking about, guys, is just being consciously aware of doing it. And this becomes a sport, because when we're fortunate to do what we do and talk to people, and let's say we're knocking on doors. Let's say we talked about for sale by owners yesterday, and you go to 5 for sale by owners today. How cool is this? Right? I have no clue what's going to be behind door number 1. Right. No clue. But I know I have some skill, and I'm going to go into neutral, and I'm like, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Man, maybe it's somebody from New York. Maybe it's a fast-talking Italian guy. Maybe it's a really slow guy from Kentucky. I don't know. I can't wait. Bring it on neutral. Go. Right? And then I have that conversation. Then I go to the next one. What's this one going to be? How cool is this? Right? Now I get to connect with somebody completely. What's this one going to be? Who knows? Maybe it's a total prick, right? Who just spilled coffee on his foot and he's pissed off. Awesome. Let's go. Right? Have fun. Then the next one. Maybe it's a super old lady. Right? And I'm going to have to really neutral and slow this shit down, right? Bring it on, right? Then it's the next one's the same one. How fun, right? It's a sport, it's a game. And it's how can I connect with you and you and you? And I get paid, what's the lifetime value of a client? 130 grand. So I don't care if you're not moving. I'm going to connect with you, and I could still become part of your tribe. And your air conditioning breaks, you can call me. Right? You need a coconut tree, you can call me. Right? Your sister's moving from Austin, call me. 130, 130, 130. Got it? And the reason why is because they're going to feel comfortable and they're going to want to connect. That's how lucky we are to be able to do this, guys. And we get paid ridiculously well for treating people well and creating trust, right? Trust is the currency of the future. So our dad says all the time. And this is the whole game. So this is it.